Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of the course. Now this week will be the first week that will follow the general pattern that many weeks of the coming semester will follow. During each module you'll often be asked, as you will this week, at the beginning of the week, to read a chapter. Then you'll have a quiz, you'll have a PowerPoint presentation to watch, you'll have a regular discussion forum to participate in, and then you'll have a writing assignment. The pattern tends to follow the same deadline status. Many things are due on Wednesday of each week. For example, this week you should have watched the PowerPoint unit by Wednesday. You should have taken the quiz by Wednesday of this week. You should have posted your first post to the discussion forum by Wednesday. There's also Friday deadlines. Usually the writing assignment deadlines are by Friday, and then the Sunday deadline, the Sunday at the very end of that week, will then be the final deadline for final post on the discussion forum. And often you'll find that modules follow this pattern. It's good to get into a regular system of how you order the assignments. Each week you'll start by reading the chapter in the textbook that's assigned. This week it's chapter 1. We're going to be talking a lot about the idea of audience and target audiences this week. But you'll begin with chapter 1. It'll have some good information to help you get started with business writing, help you consider some of these aspects of audience, who we're writing to, how we decide who we're writing to, and how we might vary our writing to reach them. After you've read chapter 1, it's usually a good idea to then go ahead and watch that PowerPoint presentation at that point, and go ahead and take a look at that. The PowerPoint presentation will build on what you've discussed in that chapter and add a little bit to that in the form of kind of a visual lecture that will help you proceed with that, with learning that. Occasionally there'll also be another video for you to watch. There's not one this week, but occasionally there will be some a video lecture or video presentation that will also build on some of what you've read in the chapter. But this week there's just the textbook chapter 1 to read, and then the PowerPoint unit that you'll watch for at that time. So read the chapter, watch the PowerPoint unit, then take the quiz. Now the quiz, I want to remind everybody, you only have 5 minutes for these quizzes. They're deliberately set up so that you demonstrate your knowledge, that you have indeed read the chapter and that you've read it carefully. If you've done so, you should easily be able to answer these questions in the span of 5 minutes. These questions generally are multiple choice, true, false. Occasionally you might find one that's something like fill in the blank. But you definitely want to make sure that you are ready for it when you sit down with the quiz. It's not something that you can stop in the middle of and go away from. You have to take it fairly quickly. And I recommend that you make sure that you have carefully read the chapter, watch that PowerPoint unit before you sit down and take that quiz and go with it. So make sure that you are ready for the quiz, and make sure that you are prepared for the fact that it is only five minutes long. There will be, it will give you, I think, a warning when you have 1 minute left on the quiz, but do pay careful attention to that and make sure you complete that in the time allowed. Now this week we have something a little bit different in that you have a folder to look at before you participate in your discussion forum. There's a folder down here that says Target Audience Assignment Part 1, and you should go down and click on, when that's open, click on the Target Audience Assignment folder. What will come up for you? You'll see a series of ads. I want you first to read the instructions here, or the Intro to Target Audience Assignment, at the top of that page. Then you'll see a series of 6 ads below that. All of these ads are for the same product. One of the ads is a video, the rest are print ads from various magazines. I want you to look over those ads carefully and consider the question of the target audience. Who are they aimed for? What strategies are those ads using to try and reach those target audiences? How are they trying to convince them to buy that product? And what particular demographic are they looking at? Choose 2 of those ads, any 2 that you like, the 2 that you feel are the strongest, or the 2 that you feel are the weakest, or the 2 that you just feel are the ones you most want to discuss. And once you've chosen 2, go to this week's discussion forum 2, Target Audiences, and you'll start your post this week by posting about those 2 ads you chose. You'll tell everybody in the class your reading of them, what you think about them, what target audience are they trying to reach, how are they trying to reach them. Be sure and read the full instructions for this discussion forum, and it'll tell you more about that. But then other students will ask you questions about what you said about those ads, maybe add some insight into them, and you can have some good back and forth discussion about those ads this week. And we'll talk amongst ourselves about this idea of how we reach target audiences with text, sometimes with visual imagery, and sometimes in ways to convince them or persuade our customers to do what we want them to do, to buy our product or to take some course of action that we'd like to do. We'll build on this idea of audience and take it back into our writing and use it as something that will build into things like sales letters later in the semester, and letters of customer relations letters that will reach our intended audiences. Okay. Also this week you have writing assignment 1. It's also built around the idea of target audiences. In this case, when you open your writing assignment number 1, you'll see a list of various different either objects or ideas. You're to pick out of this list, pick one of the following topics from that list, and write 2 descriptions of that object or idea. One of your descriptions should be aimed at a target audience that's very technically minded, that's maybe much better educated or much more academic. You might consider your fellow college students or someone who has like a good degree of technical knowledge and education as that audience. The other description should be written for a much more generalized audience, an audience that might not have that much education, an audience who may be more of just sort of the mass population. How do you vary your strategy when you describe that object or idea to that audience? That will be the idea of that assignment there. How can you vary what you say in order to reach those 2 different audiences? What choices do you make? What strategies do you take in trying to reach those audiences? Okay. All right, but this will be the general pattern again. The idea of read the chapter 1, then watch the PowerPoint unit, take the quiz, participate in the discussion forum, complete the writing assignment, and all through the week come back to that discussion forum and continue to participate and speak with your fellow students. Let me remind everybody also with the discussion forums that you do want to regularly participate. That's how you'll do well on those. If you just simply post the minimum number of posts and simply post, say, on the day of the actual deadlines, you may get a passing grade on that assignment, but you're not necessarily going to be in any kind of A level on the assignment. The students who will make A's for the most part on the discussion forum will be those who regularly post, who keep the conversation going, who may even go a little bit above and beyond just posting simply to meet the very minimum requirements. So again, I hope everybody has some fun with the discussion forums. I really enjoyed reading what you had to say on our first sort of more open topic, icebreaker discussion forum. But this week we'll get down more to business and more to our class discussions pertinent to our conversations about business writing and business tactics. Okay, I look forward to a great week, and I hope everybody learns things this week and has some fun. Please be sure to contact me if you have any questions, either through email, through Angel, or through our Raise Your Hand and Ask forum that we have at the top of our learning module. You can choose either one of those ways of contacting me, and anyway, I look forward to having a good week with you, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.